People have asked me why I don't document things. Let's see, which one should we start with? Got a couple of months. That's how long it would take to watch all these videos. Now, how about the 9/11 physics synopsis?
Synopsis of the video I just put up. Hopefully, years old, she went down in the basement and found and would been stopped and started later falling at the same speed.
Okay, this one. That one doesn't have a lot of documentation. Oh, this is nice. Aliens versus demons, and it's all screwed up. Benghazi movie explained. Alien engineered violence. Da Vinci Code and the Gift of Lucifer. Packed again. Oh great, all my videos are screwed up. I've tried telling people before, there's spiritual forces at work here. Looking like all my videos aren't gonna work now, so there's literally hundreds of videos here. Okay, let's see. Aliens, ghosts, Bigfoot appeared. Let's see if this one actually.
A couple videos I've been trying to do, but I don't know.
These are some. The strange aircraft used to fly over my house. I used to have multiple times a day strange aircraft buzzing my house.
Just gonna think I'm crazy.
And some of them seems to be morphing.
But that's one of the reasons why I decided to start going back to Christianity. It's because it's the only thing that explains all these weird things that keep happening. Is what in Ohio?
Let's see if there's any other documentation.
One night she said, "Shut up!" No one who have died. It was hard for me to. Aliens are demons. Bigfoot is another thing. I think it's.
This is when I was considering aliens to be demons. And some of these are clips I got off the internet and some of my own. Okay, let's see.
Peter decided instead of saying I was.
Oh, here's some of my
UFO. For Peter, he just wrote like I am Peter. That's really not the best way to do it. Makes it question things, but I don't know.
Those are pictures I took myself.
It's like you have to accept it on faith. I'm going to stick with what my forte is. My forte is figuring out conspiracies. So actually, like a CIA.
That's a picture I took of a plane that appears to be morphing.
It is possible. I mean, a lot of the autopilots.
Now that's a clip I got off the internet. These are another clips I got. That's mine. That's somebody else's. Oh, there's a lot of weird things going on in 9/11. Strange helicopters flying around, shooting something. That one appears to be shooting something at the Trade Center. No, I used to document lots of stuff. The reason I quit documenting things is because this represents thousands of hours of work, which I never received a dime for. I had to get a cough drop. This is another thing that always used to happen when as soon as I start. I could talk all day long to other people about things or whatever, or even rehearsing things. No problem. As soon as I turn the camera and start doing a video, this clogs up. Just happens over and over again. As one, does God exist? I prove all kinds of evidence and documentation that God does exist. The religions aren't all. They're all inaccurate to some degree. They all contain truth and untruth. But God does exist. Anyway, when I was a kid, I prayed that God would, as soon as I started going astray, God would punish me, keep me going. Right? Be careful what you wish for, So that's kind of been my life. I can't do a whole lot of anything that's off color or not quite kosher without some dire consequences or moderate consequences, usually pretty quickly. And when I was a young man, I made a prayer that I wanted to be a prophet. Now, for years and years, nothing seemed to happen. God didn't want me to be a prophet, or God wasn't listening, or for a while I lost a lot of my faith. I married a woman who was a psychopath, who was extremely abusive, and I was doing everything to be a decent Christian, godly husband and father, and she was doing little but pretending to be a Christian mother and wife, and yeah, I was punished and she was rewarded. And it started causing me to lose my faith until I started studying Christian orthodoxy, where we're not supposed to really pray for our own benevolence. And you receive great rewards when you suffer patiently. It was about 20 years later, somewhere around 2009, 2010, I had this dream where I saw this hill in Los Angeles area, and the music group The Doors were staying there. Apparently they and others were playing loud music, which was upsetting the neighbors. And somebody, there was these caves in this hillside, and this young woman, about 18 years old, was sacrificed in a ritual sacrifice in one of these caves. And I just thought it was a dream. About 6 months after that, it's like I started being led to these things. All of a sudden, like I just had this urge to look something up on the internet, something that was unrelated to whatever I ended up finding, and what I found is more dark and sinister stuff that are all connected together. And anyway, there was this thing about Frank Zappa's Log Cabin. You could look it up. And this was in Laurel Canyon. I found a lot of stuff going on in the Laurel Canyon. Houdini, and they've been going back for a while. Houdini had a house there, I think. There's a lot of strange, weird things going on. The Manson clan and other serial murders connected to this. But this Frank Zappa's cabin, all the rock stars met there. They met there before they were famous. So it's almost like these guys are being groomed to do this. Many of them had high-ranking military fathers, and all. This is before I started looking into the mind control stuff, MK Ultra. And if you want documentation on that, read Kathy O'Brien, Mark Phillips' book, Transformation of America, Access Denied. One that's even deeper than that was Bryce Taylor's book, Thanks for the Memories. You might still be able to get a copy of it for free on the internet. It's banned information. All those 3 books are banned. You're not supposed to know this kind of stuff. Anyway, I looked into all these things that these people were claiming in these books, and I couldn't find anything that was proven I could prove not true. But anyway, this Frank Zappa's cabin, there were pictures of the cabin. He called it a log cabin. It was more like a big house. But there were caves. And I saw pictures. That was exactly what I saw in my dream. And since I've learned that there's definitely satanic, real Satanism, and there's a campaign to try to make you think that Satanism is just another alternative religion. Or either they don't want you to believe it exists, or, well, it exists, but it's okay. You got all these cartoons for kids, especially around Halloween. These cute, fuzzy demons and ghosts and vampires. They're not cute, they're not cuddly. I mean, real demons are anything but cute and cuddly. Okay. They're like something out of your worst nightmare, and they can and will harm you, and if you're not careful. All right. It turns out the anthrax was traced to a U.S. Army base, but it was just one guy, and he committed suicide. Case closed. If you believe that, I got a nice tropical island in Lake Superior I'll sell you. And if you act now, I'll throw in a free ski resort in South Florida. Anyway, you have to be pretty gullible to think that it was just one guy and he committed suicide. Especially with all the other stuff going on. Yeah. So I started studying these conspiracies, which led to all this. And it was like an obsession. And it was like I was being led to look up certain things. But the reason I don't document anymore is because, look at thousands of hours of work, all these channels have been shut down. Okay. I've already had 3 videos censored on YouTube. I've been given a warning about having my channel shut down if I keep putting up videos that they don't like. This video could get me a strike, possibly. I don't know. Technically, I'm not saying anything that's illegal. I'm not saying anything that's hate speech. I'm not putting any copyrighted. Well, there's a couple clips there that were not my own, but they were just short clips. Should be within fair use parameters. But I've had stuff that was in fair use parameters, and they shut it down anyway. So, and they've had stuff they called satanic. But so anyway, I've been pretty much shut down. I mean, the censorship is so bad now you can't say anything. If you have any comments with certain keywords in it, they get censored. Just the other day, I try to say common sense things to try to maybe get people to stop behaving in despicable ways, like this last video. I was kind of harsh on Twin CD drivers, and I'm using some foul language. But you know, I want to get people to stop being idiots, because people are getting killed, permanently injured the way they drive, and it's just evil behavior, and be so bullying, mean, and nasty to other people. It's terrible. Nobody wins. Nobody wins by behaving this way. So, I kind of lost a lot of my faith, but I've studied multiple things, including other philosophies and stuff. But I couldn't get around the fact that this seemed to be a spiritual warfare, and more evidence of a satanic, demonic conspiracy. Demonic forces were involved. It's more than just greed and power. Some people will study these conspiracies, think it's just greed and power. I kind of thought it was greed and power when I first, but it started looking more and more like a lot of the things that they're doing is mayhem. They're deliberately, intentionally causing chaos, death, and destruction for its own sake. It's not just about money and power. It is about money and power, but it's not just about money and power. It's about being evil. And weird, uncanny things that happen when you saw a couple of them right here. You know, my throat gets clogged up, my equipment starts to screw up, cameras screw up, everything starts screwing up when I'm doing these videos, and this happens over and over and over again. Too much to be a coincidence. And when you start studying these things, you start realizing there are no coincidences.